let's just look for a few minutes at what areas or area in your case are you most similar?
Right.
Well, we're exactly the same on emotionally steady.
Okay, and it says that you're kind of average.
Right. But
So
it's interesting because I'd say that we don't handle stress exactly the same way.
talk about that a little bit.
Right.
What happens when you feel stress, Daniel?
Well, I don't know. Wouldn't you say that I probably get anxious, but I tend to keep it in.
Okay.
I find that sort of by containing it and
But you can feel it.
I can feel it, but it
try
doesn't
not to
really-
share it. Okay.
I'm not a
Maria?
very explosive person, I would
Okay.
say.
And I probably am. I'm more.
yeah.
I tend to get more. I tend to get more angry, I guess, or
Okay.
you know, I will get more snippy and more
Really?
irritable.
You don't say.
But I think us being average is about right because generally we don't go to those extremes.
Okay.
We kind of stay. You know, it's only in extreme stress that brings that out in us. I would say. I
Yeah.
think on a daily basis we're
Okay.
pretty level.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now let's look at the areas in which you really are different in some ways. Do you want to pick one of those that jumped
Well,
out
we're
at
different
you?
in all of the other ways,
Yeah.
but
Some more
I'm
than
surprised how well you did on the organized one, though.
well, I have my
Let's
my
talk about
moments.
that.
I guess I didn't know that was average.
others. Daniel, you're very high. You're very organized.
He is very organized.
Okay. And so look at Maria, and she's in the average range, and you're kind of saying you don't feel she's very organized.
In comparison to me, I
Okay.
would say that
Right.
she would. It's interesting. She'll either be pretty clean, but in times of when things get hectic, she kind of falls off the wagon. big
She
time.
loses her organization. Okay.
That's very true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can that be a problem for you? How does that create an issue for you, the fact you're different that way?
I think right now it hasn't been too huge of an issue because we live separately. But I know that when we move in together, it might be
An issue.
a source of contention. Just because we're going to have to share things, and I tend to be pretty stable with just keeping things tidy.
Okay. So let's talk about how can you use your organizational skills in your relationship as a strength, because you do have different levels, okay? But you're a team more and more, and you need to work together, and you need to use this. The person that has this organizational skills, you need to use that. So how can that be used in your relationship to handle things more effectively?
Well, I think one of the things that is causing stress just in general right now is planning for the wedding.
Okay.
I would say, for me especially, I'm doing a lot.
Right.
I'm doing a lot of the planning.
Okay.
My family and I are planning a lot of it together, and so one cause of stress is how disorganized I am, and how it's harder for me to keep
Well,
things.
she's juggling a lot of things because
Okay.
she's also in school,
Right.
and she's working, and she is planning.
And
Yeah.
how involved are you with the wedding plans?
I give my input when I can, I guess.
So how could you use his organizational skills, and how could you work more together as a team so the wedding planning doesn't feel so chaotic?
Well, I think definitely if you took over some of the technical planning aspects, or at least the organization, for instance, I had to call like 8 different halls to find out prices and
Right.
Okay.
things like that, and all of those notes that I took and papers are just strewn about, and I can't really keep it all straight right now.
And yeah, I have left a lot of this up to her because
Okay.
she's really taking the reins on the project, and we've even had different ideas as to what we want this all to be, but I would be definitely willing to help with that. You just never asked.
And well, and that's good. I mean, you have to ask each other and involve each other, but the advantage is what? If you do that, you're going to both reduce the tension in a relationship and also get more connected with each other. Okay?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think that you helping me organize would definitely get your hands in the process more, and that would make me feel more like we're both part of it, I think.
Because one of the things we don't want you to do is to think about changing your partner. You want to see that difference as a strength, something you can use in your relationship.
Right.
Okay?
You know, and I actually, the organization does make sense, and I feel that we have worked, or we've made efforts where I can try to help you, and this is definitely a way I can.
Yeah.
But I'm actually wondering, because we have these major changes, major differences, you know, in the social category.
Okay, let's talk about that. So it's very clear that you're more introverted, you like to do things on your own, you need your own downtime, separateness from her, and she's very social, says that, and I heard you talking about being very involved with your family and with your friends, and you're very busy, and you get energized by that.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
I get drained by that.
Okay, right. So that could be, that could create a problem for you.
Sure.
So now you have to think about how can you turn that into a strength? How can you use that and balance that in your relationship so it isn't a problem?
Well,
Without change, see,
Without changing
that's
your
where
partner.
it becomes interesting,
Right.
because I kind of just let her go and, you know, do her social butterfly thing, and I'm okay with that. And
Because that gives
because
you
I-
some alone time, right?
right, but I
Yeah.
would prefer to have more couple time, just I guess on my terms.
Okay.
well, it's, you know, and we did kind of have, going back to the wish list, we had opposite wishes, kind of.
Right.
I wished he would want to come out more, and he wishes that I would want to stay more with him. And I think maybe kind of splitting the difference
Okay.
would be one way to,
Talk to him about
I
that.
think that kind of finding a compromise of a little bit of both might be a way to make us each feel like we have a say in the social aspect.
I guess it's easy. I know before I met her, I didn't go out as much. So I definitely have had my tendencies to be reclusive, I guess, at times. So I guess I do appreciate the fact that you probably get me out more than I would on my own.
Yeah.
So
So that's good.
Yeah.
That
It-
helps
it is
balance
good.
your life. But again, you need the balance to go both ways.